The weekend is nearly over. The cool breeze reminds you that winter is on its way, and the novelty being quarantine has long worn off. Want to get away from it all? We offer you escape. Welcome back for Season 2 of Stormy Night Radio Theater. Join us each month as we recreate classic radio dramas and a few original stories of our own using voice and sound and the power of your imagination. So gather around your proverbial radio for the next hour as we present Stormy Night Radio Theater. Our first offering tonight, we escape to the dark labyrinth of a giant department store in the dead of night, and to a fantastic world of night dwellers as John Collier imagines it in his eerie story, Evening Primrose.
Sadie! Sadie! What's the matter? It's just me.
Oh, Sam, you nearly scared me to death. What do you mean coming in so quiet?
Huh? Oh, I didn't mean to scare you. I just thought you'd be asleep. I didn't want to wake you. Hey, what's the matter?
It's this. Just look at this.
What? Look at it. Looks ordinary pad of paper to me.
That's it. That's just what I thought. But it's got writing in it. It's awful.
Now wait a minute. Maybe you better tell me what this is all about.
Well, today I went shopping down at Macy's department store.
Oh, yeah?
And I needed some paper, so I picked this up. It was on top of the pile. And I bought it. I brought it home, and tonight when I opened it, I found it's got writing in it.
What? Just take it back tomorrow. Make him give you a new one.
No, you don't understand. It's what's written in it that's so terrible.
What do you mean? What's written in it?
Here, you gotta read it.
Look, Sadie, I'm tired. I've been bowling all evening.
I know, but Sam, please, just read it.
All right, for Pete's sake. Give it to me. Okay. September 6th. Today I made my decision. I decided to say goodbye to the world, to get out, leave, break away. And I have done it. Sadie, this is a lot
of... Go on, read it.
And now I am free. Really free. Yes.
I am free at last. The world is an intolerable place. It's a tolerable place for a poet. I was broke, starving, at my wit's end. Then I had a brilliant idea. I would escape to a place where I had no need to earn a living, where I could write to my heart's content in peace and security. Where is this place? Right under our nose. So close you'd never think of it. I'm now living in the Macy's department store. I have everything within arm's reach that anyone could need or desire, and it's all free, absolutely free. I arrived this afternoon. I had spent 3 days looking all over the department stores in town. I decided on Macy's because of the completeness of their food department. Therefore, this afternoon, I entered the store and went immediately to the 4th floor, to the rug department, and hid myself in the dusty, out-of-the-way corner behind a pile of carpets. Once I'm settled, I'll furnish it with some of the best of modern places. From the furniture department, it's small, but I'll be cozy enough and safe. After the store closed, I made my venture out. I tiptoed as far as the stationery counter and got this paper, The Writer's Primary Need. Now, after making my initial entry, I'll go out and get food, wine, and pillows for my bed. Perhaps a fancy dressing gown. This is perfect. I'll be able to write here. Dawn, September 7th. I'm almost too unnerved to write this. The whole thing is unbelievable. After the store was dark and completely quiet, I crept out and started towards the food department. I found myself gliding along the floor, on tiptoes, moving as silently as possible, but the sound of footsteps persisted. Suddenly, I realized they were not my own. The night watchman. I was in the Salon Modern. Quickly, I seized a mink coat from a hanger, draped it about my shoulders, and stood stock still. I could have reached out and touched him, but he passed by without so much as a glance. I started to smile, but the smile froze on my lips. There was someone else here. I was looking straight into a pair of eyes, large, flat, luminous, inhuman eyes, peering at me from among the Mrs. Tailored suits. A dozen feet away, they belonged to a creature dressed as a man, but he was as pale as a creature found under a stone. His hands hanging motionless at his side looked more like the fins of a fish than human hands. And then he spoke.
Not bad for a beginner.
I'm sorry, I didn't know anybody else lived here.
Oh, yes, we live here. It's delightful.
We?
Yes, all of us. Don't you see? Just look around you.
I looked around. I saw nothing. I looked again, and I saw an old man come clambering out from behind a clock. There were 3 elderly women, incredibly emaciated, pale as lice, almost transparent, simpering before the perfume counters. A chintzy lady swam out from behind the curtains and drapes. They came swarming thick around me, pale, thin, wispy, moving silently, fluttering like gauze in the wind, whispering.
Who is he? What is he in our area? He's new, isn't he?
What is it? Who is it? A detective? Send for the dark men.
Yes, send for the dark men.
They were pressing around me, clawing, holding, their pale faces contorted with venomous and human hatred. I was paralyzed. All I could do was repeat over and over again. I'm not the detective. I'm not the detective. I'm not.
A burglar, then.
A burglar? Tie him up.
Hold him.
Get him sent
Send for the dark men.
Oh, now stop, everybody. Now let him speak.
I'm not a detective or burglar. I'm a poet.
Then what are you doing here?
I've renounced the world. I came here to live where I could be alone, away from the world.
He must meet Mrs. Vanderpant.
Yes, Mrs. Vanderpant. She's coming now.
Oh, he's just a poet. He's coming over to listen to us.
I followed their eyes to the balcony there. Coming down the wall like an ancient spider clambered an old lady, wrinkled and cracked and emaciated. She must have been at least 80, a shadowy matriarch, and the things beside me bowed and scraped as she reached the floor and floated towards us.
What's going on here? Where is that stupid girl? What's keeping her?
Oh, Mrs. Vanderpant, may I present Mr.
Snell. Mr. Snell. Mr. Charles Snell.
Yes, of course, Mr. Snell. He is a poet. He's come here to live.
Oh, he has he? Very well, we shall see. A poet should find inspiration here.
Oh, Mr. Snell, Mrs. Vanderpant is our grand old lady.
I'm quite the oldest inhabitant here, Mr. Snell. 3 mergers and a complete rebuilding. But they didn't get rid of me.
Oh, really?
Where is Ella? Where is my broth?
Oh, she's bringing it, Mrs. Vanderpant.
Terrible little creature. She's our foundling, Mr. Snell. She's not quite our sort.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, I have been here, Mr. Snell, ever since the terrible times of the 80s. I was a young girl then, a beauty, they say. And poor Pap lost his money. Macy's meant a lot to a young girl in those days. So when I wasn't able to have a charge account, I came here for good. That's better than a charge account. I was quite alarmed when others began to come after the crash of 1907. But it was the dear judge, the colonel, Mrs. Bilbee.
How do you do?
Mrs. Bilbee writes plays and comes from an old Philadelphia family. Oh, you will find us quite nice here, Mr. Snell.
I'm sure I will.
Oh, and of course, all our dear young people came in 1929. Their poor parents jumped from skyscrapers. They couldn't bear to be without their charge accounts either.
Do you mean all these people live here?
Oh, and many more. You shall meet them all later.
Oh, here comes that girl with my broth.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm coming as fast as I can. Here.
Now be careful, don't spill it.
Oh, but she's young.
Well, of course, she is a little younger than most of us.
And she's different. She's beautiful.
Mr. Snell, Ella is Mrs. Vanderpant's maid.
That's right, son. She's really not our sort at all.
You shouldn't say such things. She can hear you.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
You'll understand these things better after you've been here for a while.
Mr. Snell, we have certain rules here. They are necessary for our survival. I'm sure you won't find it hard to observe them.
Well, yes. I appreciate it.
I should advise that you try. If you do not, that would be most unfortunate, Mr. Snell. Most unfortunate for you.
September 8th. You can imagine my feelings last night. My first thought was to escape as quickly as possible. In fact, I planned to wait till morning when the store opened, then quit my hiding place, mingle with the crowds, and leave Macy's forever. But just before dawn, Mr. ROSCOE brought me a cup of coffee, which must have been drugged, for I fell asleep, and when I awoke, I found I had slept all day, and night was closing over the store once more. Later, I spent my second night here. I saw Ella again. Ella, the pearl of this remote, fantastic cave. She's not like the others, a trifle pale, but otherwise normal, and human, and beautiful. A child of perhaps 18, she's the only thing that makes this nightmare bearable. September 13th. Escape seems almost impossible. There's a very effective burglar alarm system, and the doors are all carefully guarded. But that's nothing compared to the Dark Men. Who are the Dark Men? I don't know, but they threaten any transgressor with these Dark Men. I shall try to discover who they are. At least, I'm sure I'm watched. Though they've begun to trust me now, speaking to the night watchman would be suicide, even if he believed my fantastic story, or didn't shoot me as a burglar. I'm convinced that neither Ella nor I could get out of here alive. She and the night watchman are the only real people here, and how the others hate the night watchman.
You mustn't stay so much to yourself, Mr. Snell. You must become better acquainted with our ways.
Yes, old man. You must come to the play tonight. We're going to be entertained with one of Mrs. Bilbee's tragic comedies, Love in the Shadowland. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
I'm sure I will.
It's really a festive occasion, you know. Wanamaker's is coming over, you know.
Wanamaker's?
Yes, the entire colony over at Wanamaker's is coming here, en masse, to attend the play.
You mean there are people living in other stores?
Oh, dear, yes, didn't you know? Of course, the best people live at Macy's and Wanamaker's.
I beg your pardon, Mrs. Bilbee. Please, ma'am, I'd so love to see your play tonight. May I have your permission?
Certainly not! You know better than that, you stupid creature. You know where you belong. In the basement with the garbage can.
But Mrs. Bilbee, couldn't you just this one...
Hush, Mr. Snell.
Ella, you're becoming entirely too forward as of late. I advise you to watch your step. Remember the Dark Man.
Oh, no. Please, Mr. Roscoe. I'll be good. I promise I will. No, please don't send for the Darkmen. I'm sorry, Mrs. Bilbee. Excuse me.
How can you treat her like that? Why do you always frighten her? And what is all this about the Darkmen?
Well, the Darkmen.
Oh, please, Mr. Roscoe, not now. You'll spoil our whole evening. And I do so want Mr. Snell to enjoy my play.
September 14th. At last, I found an opportunity to speak to Ella alone. I hadn't dared to speak to her before. Here, one has a sense always of pale eyes secretly watching, but last night at the play, I induced a fit of hiccups. As I anticipated, I was sternly reprimanded and told to go secrete myself in the basement, where the night watchman could hear me. This was exactly as I had planned. I went to the basement. There in the darkness, among the garbage cans and the rats, I could hear sobbing. Ella! Ella!
Oh!
Why are you crying? What is it, Ella?
They wouldn't even let me see the play. Oh, Mr. Snell, I'm so unhappy.
Oh, there. You mustn't cry.
You're the only one who's kind.
Well, Ella, why are you here? Why did they treat you so differently?
Because I'm not like them. I didn't choose to come here.
You mean you were held prisoner?
Yes. You see, I was only 6. I came here on a shopping tour with my mother. I got lost and fell asleep behind a counter. It was dark when I awoke and they found me. Some of them wanted to send for the Darkmen because they were afraid I would tell on them, but Mrs. Vanderpant said no. I could stay and be her maid, and I've been here ever since.
Since you were 6? Haven't you ever tried to escape? Get away?
No. I don't know anything about out there. I wouldn't know what to do. Besides, I'm afraid. If anyone tries to get out, they send for the Darkmen.
Ella, who are the Darkmen?
Don't you know? Oh, it's horrible. You know how people live at all the stores? At Gimbel's and Bloomingdale's and...
Yes, I know.
Well, the Darkmen live at the Undertaker's.
Oh, good heavens.
And whenever someone dies or breaks the rules, or when a burglar gets in and sees the people and might tell, they send for the Darkmen.
How horrible.
They put the body in the butcher shop in the food department, and then the Darkmen come. I saw them once. It was terrible.
What did they do?
They go in where the dead person is. They have wax with them and all sorts of things. And when they're gone, there's just a wax model left on the counter. Then our people put a frock on it or a bathing suit and mix it up with the other wax models in the windows. And nobody ever knows. And if you displease these people, the same thing will happen to you.
September 22nd. I haven't kept up on my journal. Writing has been out of the question. Once more, I'm frozen with terror. But not for myself, now for Ella. They hate her. Any time they might turn against her and send for the Darkmen. My mind is filled with her. I dream of her every day. I live to see her at night. We've managed it several times. They trust me now and let me roam without interference. Finally, I met her again tonight, and I said it. Ella, I love you.
Oh, Charles.
I love you, Ella. Let's get married or, well, whatever they do down here. Then we can go live together in my home in the carpet department. They wouldn't dare hurt you.
Oh, Charles,
Don't look so dismayed. If you like, we'll go away from here. Maybe we can get transferred to Bergdorf's Goodman's, overlooking Central Park.
Don't, Charles, don't. You mustn't.
But I love you. Ella, you're not in love with someone else, are you?
Yes, Charles, I am.
But who? Oh, it must be Roscoe. He's the only one young enough.
Oh, no, Charles, not Roscoe, especially not him. It's the night watchman. I love him. He smells of the sun. Oh, it was wonderful the way it happened. Don't tell on me, Charles, or they'll punish me.
Oh, no.
I was careless. And there he was, coming around the corner in the ladies' lingerie department. I was caught. There were only some wax models and their underthings. There was nothing else to do. I slipped off my dress and stood still.
Oh, I see.
He stopped and looked at me. And Charles, he spoke to me. He said, I wish they made him like you on 8th Avenue. Charles, wasn't that a lovely thing to say?
Personally, I would have said Park Avenue.
It doesn't matter what street. It was a lovely thing to say.
Yeah, well, but what can you do about him, Ella? He belongs to another world.
Yes, to 8th Avenue. I want to go there. Charles, are you really my friend?
Well, yes, of course I am.
Then I'll tell you. I'm going to stand there again so he'll see me. Perhaps he'll speak to me again.
Ella, you're only torturing yourself. Ella, you don't love him. You only think you do. You think he'll take you out of here, but you don't know that he will. And I will, Ella. I've made up my mind.
No, Charles, I couldn't let you do it. Even if I loved you, you couldn't do it, Charles.
Why not?
Because you really belong here. You've become one of them now.
Ella, you mustn't say that.
True. And Charles, I've got to go. There's someone watching us. I feel it. Goodbye, Charles.
No, Ella, come back. Ella!
Please, son. You'll arouse the night watchman.
ROSCOE.
Yes. Oh, love can be very upsetting, can it?
Oh, so you heard.
Yes, in just the last moment or so. Very touching. And yet very understandable. I've been attracted to Ella myself, so she loves another, huh? Too bad, old boy. Who could it be? Could it be that I'm the cause of your heartbreak?
You flatter yourself too much, ROSCOE. She loves the night watchman. Can you believe it? She loves the... Oh, ROSCOE, I shouldn't have said that. It's not true. At least I don't think it's true. You wouldn't. ROSCOE,
Yeah,
you said you loved her too. You wouldn't do anything. Tell anybody. This is a secret between us, between friends, isn't it?
Yes, of course, son. As secret as the grave. Come now, it's almost dawn. Time for bed. Good morning, Mr. Snell. Good morning.
Early evening, September 26th. I was a fool. I should have known he couldn't be trusted. He must have gone straight to Mrs. Vanderpant, because this evening, the atmosphere has changed. People flicker to and fro, smiling nervously, horribly, with a sort of frightened, sadistic exultation, and an informal dance in the record department has been called off. I can't find Ella. I'm going out again to look for her. ROSCOE, what have you done with her?
Whatever I did was for it was for your own good, as well as for the good of the people all around us.
Wait a minute.
What is that? Huh?
What is that? What are those people carrying? That's Ella. She's tied up. They're carrying Ella. Ella!
Charles, help me! Save me, Charles!
No, Charles, stop it. You'll arouse the night watchman.
Listen, I don't care. No, they're taking her into the butcher shop. ROSCOE!
Yes, those are the dark men.
Midnight. I'm scribbling this last entry hurriedly. They are in there, in the butcher shop, with Ella, the dark men. There's only one thing to do. I'm going to find the night watchman and tell him. He and I will save her if we can. And if we are overpowered, well, I will leave this pad on the stationery counter. Tomorrow, if I live, I will recover it. If I do not, whoever finds this and reads it, look in the store window. Look for 3 new wax dummies, 2 men and one rather sensitive looking, and a girl. She has blonde hair and blue eyes, and her nose turns up a little. Look for us, and then find them, smoke them out, Exterminate them.
Avenge us.
Oh, Sam, we gotta do something. Tell somebody something. Sam, what do we do?
Oh, babe, don't do anything. Go to bed.
But Sam.
Whoever wrote this has sure got a weird sense of humor. It's probably some clerk down at Macy's who ought to be fired.
But you mean you think it was just a story?
Are you kidding? You don't believe this stuff, do you?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on, forget it now, babe. Just snap out of it.
But don't you think maybe we ought to just take it back and show somebody?
Ah, nuts. It's not worth the bother. They'd laugh at you, babe. They'd think you were crazy or something.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
I guess I was being silly.
Yeah, forget it. Come on now. Let's go to bed, huh? I'm tired.
Okay, Sam. Gee, for a while there, I sure was scared. But, I even forgot. I was going to tell you, Sam, I found the cutest dress today.
Oh, yeah?
Only $19.95.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, I'd love to see it. Yeah, tell me more about it.
Yeah, well, it was on the window. And
yeah?
At Macy's, and it was a beautiful little wax model that was wearing it with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah?
And a turned up nose.
Ah.
And there were two men standing beside Sam!
Tonight's story escaped Evening Primrose by John Collier, adapted for radio by John Dunkel.